To get government contracts, the Liberal minister from Edmonton said that he was Indigenous, but he's not.
We know he falsely claimed he was Indigenous.
The Minister of Employment pretended to be Indigenous.
He's caught faking Indigenous identity.
Their cabinet colleague is pretending to be Indigenous.
He says he's an Indigenous person, even though he's not.
He said he was Indigenous, even though he wasn't.
Falsely claimed to be wholly Indigenous.
We know he says he's Indigenous, even though he's not.
He said that he was Indigenous.
A weak, fake Indigenous man.
Pretend Indigenous Randy.
The pretend Indigenous Minister of Employment.
Pretending to be Indigenous.
Fake Indigenous Employment Minister.
Steal contracts from Indigenous communities and businesses.
Steal resources that were meant for real Indigenous people.
Steal government contracts from legitimately owned Indigenous businesses.
And he said his great-grandmother was Cree, even though she wasn't.
He claims his great-grandmother is Cree, and that's false.
He says that he's not the Randy in the text messages.
He's not the Randy from the texts.
But text messages show that he was.
While his company has the same address as a place that has 2 cocaine busts.
The minister has a business connection to a cocaine trafficker.
Alleged cocaine smuggler.
His company address matches the address of a place that was the location of 2 cocaine busts.
The facts are that their cabinet colleague is involved with cocaine traffickers.
His company shares a mailing address with an international drug trafficker who's been busted for cocaine not once, but twice.
Why won't he resign now?
Resign in shame.
Why is he still in cabinet?
Why in this wacko Liberal government does this man still sit in cabinet?
Why won't they fire this fraudster?
When will the Prime Minister fire this phony for making false claims to steal from First Nations?
When is the Prime Minister going to fire the Employment Minister and the other Randy?
Mr. Speaker, as I said yesterday, I don't know the person referred to in that article. I've never met that person. It's stated in the article, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. I've had no dealings with her whatsoever. Those are the facts. I've never met her. I've had no dealings with her whatsoever. The article states that fact, and that is the fact. Mr. Speaker, despite the innuendo, here are the facts. I don't know the person in question. I never met that person in question. And Mr. Speaker, those are simply the facts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't know the person in the article from today. I've never met the person in the article from today. Those are the facts. Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives may not like it, but it's actually in the article that I don't know the person in question. Never met them.
Despite the insinuations, I've never met that person in question in today's article. I've never dealt with her. I've never met her. Those are the facts.